A number of things before we get started. So I've got my new Scott Free Riders. They're 184s. They're 95 in the width. And you'll notice, besides my NTN Scarpa TX Pro, whatever, boot, I've got the Jigarex plates with the NTN binding. So I've got my heel and my toe to this point. So it's nicely in there. It's hard to see, but you'll notice down, let me get this trusty pencil. Right down in here is the ski boot center. And then this is where I've drawn the boot center based on this binding. So if I moved them, they would not work. So anyway, that's where it's all lined up. Just a little bit about my tools. You'll see the chisel, just in case after I drill I want to do off the scuffs. We'll see if we need it after we drill. The drill bit, these are really fancy. This is a 4.1 millimeter. So it's nice that with this dip there, when I go into drilling, it fits right in through this, and it'll just drill down through nice and straight right into the hole. Very easy peasy, because basically it's got a built-in stop. So I got this from tognar.com, but there's a lot of online places you can get them. Afterwards, just in case, I have a tap, which is supposed to help set the threads for the screws. So I'm going to try it. Not necessarily, it's optional, but I figured I can definitely put it in there a little bit just to get the screws to bind, especially at the top. Just in case, I have a little countersinker, or they call them chamfers. I couldn't find one at the hardware store, but I just got this one and I tested it on my old skis. So again, that's just supposed to use to round out any plastic that sticks up from the drilling. I just have a basic grit drill, nothing too fancy, and then got a posi drive screw with this. I think a lot of people use any kind of glue, but I got this Roux Clear from Tognar, so I'm going to use it again just to put it in the hole and all that stuff. So those are the tools that I will need. I should not need these. Of course, in case there's trouble, we have the hammer. So that's the tools. One last check. We are ready to drill. Boot, the toe, the heel look pretty nice, so that's good. Step one. Step two, the Jigarex is in place. It's tight, so let me test it. So you can see it's not moving. So why is that good? Because then this is definitely tight on both sides to align the center, so these won't be off at all. They're right at the center. Again, the beauty part of the jig. And then again, boot center, as you can tell, it's right here. So these are ready to go. So there's not much more to do than to post these holes. So take a whirl. Hope I do it right. Reset, rewind about all that. So note that these are metal plates on top, so these are not going in that well. Okie dokie, I think we are good enough. So now I can undo this. So there we go. We have now drilled my first ski. Didn't go all the way through, which is nice. So now we are ready. Most of these have not popped up, so we don't have to really do much. And then followed up with our little texture removal root glue. The main point of the glue, as I mentioned earlier, or from what I understand, is that it's not really for strength, even though it's always good, but it's really meant to seal the inner core from water that could get in. Again, that's pretty good. So now, in order to get to these two, I have to engage the brake. That, and now I can get these screws in. Okay, so now I get to reverse this. Take that off. Put these guys on. The last two go on this. I remember from before that the wires go in the back. Next step. Pretty simple. We just stick this guy in. A nice little spring there, and now got that. So now it's just hold this and do righty-tighty. And my boot size, I'm supposed to be at about 3. For an average intermediate level, and 5 if I'm really taking no prisoners, but again, I'm not skiing that anymore. So I'm putting mine on like 4, because again, I know I ski in walk mode. I don't even put it's only if I'm in the really steeps that I really think I'm going to die, then I'll put on 4. Tuckerman's going up the head wall, I crank everything up, but anyway. Let's do the final test. I help on the snow. It's a little bit easier. Put the boot in. Nice. I think I got it nice and correct. Let's do the final test. Okay, we're ready in uphill mode, or this way for a lower steep, or again, just shuffling around, or with basic skins. And then finally, now we're in full-blown ski mode, and you get some tension. So the 3 to 5 will give us some tension here. And again, these are a little too tight even for me, but again, when you get going, it's good to go. So now, there we go. Awesome. So that completes the Rottefella, now Scarpa, Freedom bindings.